If this message speaks to you, don't just like it, pass it on. Share it directly with someone who needs to hear it, because messages like this don't always reach everyone they should. Thank you and enjoy.
With Black people in particular, and I'm just going to be really direct, white people are not raised to care about Black people. We are not raised to see you or know you or love you. In fact, white people define goodness and status by your absence. And I want to hold that for a minute, right? What is a good school? What is a good neighborhood? What is happening when a neighborhood is coming up? What is happening when a neighborhood is coming down? That's racial discourse. And the message is really clear. The whiter it is, the more valuable it is. And I actually think that is the deepest message of all of white supremacy for the average white person. It's not the N-word. I'm never going to say the N-word. But that I could see no inherent value in having relationships with Black people?
First, I'd like to say that this upcoming series of videos is not meant to be divisive. They are meant to be an honest examination of a subject that this channel focuses on: reparative justice in all its forms. But just the mention of this topic becomes extremely charged by its very nature and the ground it covers. If you're asking why reparative justice, then here goes. I recently read a book called White Fragility by Dr. Robin DiAngelo and watched a few of her videos on YouTube and became fascinated with how it revealed to me a new perspective of something I had been working on previously. By using Malcolm X's point of view, in that he was able to see the issues people faced with the ability to explain in a clear way that cuts through the haze that Dr. DiAngelo mentions is a byproduct of the current system we live in. And my hope is that you will receive my offerings in the spirit of learning and understanding. This is a chart, just a chart. But how you view it might surprise you. You might see an architectural design or a smoking gun. My hope is that it will sharpen your blade so you can cut through to clarity for yourself. Your first question may be, what do these have in common? Education, employment, healthcare, criminal justice, media, social service, financial, and political. This isn't just a chart, it's a mirror. Each circle represents a pillar of the American system, and every line shows how power travels between them. Education shapes employment, employment shapes housing, housing shapes health, health shapes justice, justice shapes wealth, and all of them together shape how freedom is distributed. This image is a systems map of institutionalized racism, showing how every major U.S. institution, from education, employment, healthcare, criminal justice, media, social services, finance, and politics, feeds into and reinforces institutional systemic racism at the center. Let's call it the architectural blueprint of inequity. Institutional systemic racism is the load-bearing column in the center. Institutions are the walls that conceal it. Policies and practices are the electrical wiring, unseen but powering the structure. Public perception and media, they are the paint that makes the structure appear neutral. When I look at this, I don't see neutral. I see connection. Every law, every paycheck, every classroom, every hospital visit, they're all part of the same design. So the question isn't which institution is broken. The question is, which one was ever built for Black people? This chart is not new. It is simply honest. It is the house where we are all born into. America built this architecture brick by brick, law by law, fear by fear, and then forgot who laid the first stone. But to be black in this country is to remember what the nation cannot bear to recall. It is to live inside the blueprint and still dream of the sky above it. So when I look at this map of institutions, I don't see systems. I see stories, lives folded under policy, dreams rearranged by design. And perhaps the tragedy is not that the system is broken, but that it is working exactly as it was meant to. Okay then, you've seen the architecture, the blueprint of inequity. You see how every institution is connected, every outcome patterned, every illusion reinforced. But what we haven't seen, or what we're rarely allowed to see, is the lens itself. Because the way you look at the chart determines what you believe it means. Some will call it history, others will call it exaggeration. But blueprints don't explain why people defend the walls that confine them, or why truth, when spoken plainly, feels like violence to those standing comfortably to the side. To understand that, we have to change the angle of vision, not the facts, those are already here, but the lens itself, because how we see is part of the system. And through the black gaze, what's invisible to some become undeniable to others. That's where fragility enters the story. Fragility isn't weakness. It's resistance disguised as innocence. It's the trembling that begins when clarity threatens the illusion of neutrality. So let's look again, not at the structure, but through it, from the black gaze. Through the black gaze, the color of sight. Is it even possible to look at race from a neutral point of view? If by neutral you mean detached or objective, no. Whiteness defines what counts as neutral, builds the measuring stick, then hides its hand. So the goal isn't neutrality, it's clarity, seeing with context instead of comfort. Whiteness isn't just a group of people, it's the air the culture breathes. It decides what's normal, reasonable, beautiful, believable. Like gravity, it shapes movement even when you don't intend to follow it. Once you stop moralizing it, good or bad, and start studying it, you see the same logic in architecture, language, manners, and policy. To keep itself intact, whiteness harms in both directions. It excludes black and brown people through control, and it isolates white people through blindness. The loss is shared but never equal. One side carries the weight, the other the fog. Know this, history isn't behind us, it's under us. Redlining, enslavement, school policy, they're not events. They're the floor plan we still walk on. The past isn't memory, it's operating code. The present hums with ghosts, the laws and the habits still running old commands. Behind white defensiveness sits fear. Fear of moral collapse, of losing the illusion of being the good guy. Behind black exhaustion is fear too. That truth won't matter. Both are symptoms of the same disease, a system that needs denial to survive. Racism isn't a malfunction, it's maintenance. Policy, language, branding, and sentimentality are the software updates that keep the same program running. Every reform without redistribution is just a smoother interface for the same code, and still there's resistance. Black survival, humor, music, invention, indigenous protection of land and language, parallel civilizations of knowledge living beneath the official history. Truth has a side, and it's always with whoever names reality accurately. If you could look neutrally, you'd see structure and story at once, power and fear feeding each other, a society brilliant at pretending it's innocent, and beneath all a pulse, people still making something human out of what was meant to break them. Neutrality isn't possible, but lucidity is. And lucidity reveals that what we call race problems aren't defects in the system, they are the system. And living inside whiteness changes you. It distorts perception, teaching the eye to read comfort as goodness and familiarity as truth. It fragments the self. White people forget. Non-white people perform. Everyone lives edited. It colonizes imagination, deciding what success, beauty, and sanity look like. It numbs empathy, turning other people's pain into theory. It traps us in moral confusion, making identity more sacred than ethics. And it shapes the body. Tension for some, dullness for others. Both are distortions of presence. Both are harm. To breathe whiteness is to live inside a carefully lit room. Everybody looks clear until someone turns on another light and you realize the air was thick with dust the whole time. Dr. Robin DiAngelo calls that haze practiced self-blindness, a thin emotional membrane that covers deep systemic reality. Pierce it, and the fragility reacts like a reflex. She shows how outcomes follow predictable patterns. Education, employment, wealth, health, lifespan, the algorithm of whiteness, a machine that turns group membership into fate. Malcolm X saw the same pattern and called it what it is: design. He named the white blindness as moral denial, and black suffering as a proof of America's split personality, a nation preaching freedom while practicing hierarchy. Where DiAngelo maps the membrane, Malcolm X breaks it open. Together, they explain both the mechanism and the verdict. Okay, so if you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. Here's the frame we'll use to navigate forward. The outer ring, white fragility, the emotional shield that hides the machinery. The middle ring, institutional systemic racism, the architecture of policy, money, and power. And the core, the black gaze, the vision that sees through walls, names design as design, and reclaims the right to interpret reality. Fragility maintains the walls. White fragility, the reflex to defend innocence, deny harm, or center comfort, act like emotional mortar. It keeps the boundaries of the system from cracking. When discomfort appears, fragility rushes in to seal the gap. Institutions build the house, the visible structure. Education, law, finance, media, healthcare is the physical architecture of systemic racism. These systems give racism shape and permanence, turning bias into policy and everyday practice. The black gaze turns on the lights. The black gaze represents awareness sharpened by survival and history. It exposes the wiring behind the walls, the hidden logic of privilege and exclusion. Turning on the lights means refusing illusion, seeing how the house really works and where repair or demolition must begin. Together, the lines mean emotional denial protects the structure. Institutions keep it standing. Truth-telling makes it visible. So the next time you hear someone say that everything black people do is political, you'll have some more understanding as to why that is. So now you can see the wiring. We'll start at the foundation, the classroom, where neutrality is taught and erasure begins. If you're still here, thank you for hanging out this long. Please hit the like and subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that I can bring you more content like this.